Hi, everybody. It's Wednesday. Happy Hump Day. I'm Eddie. This is the Eddie Makes Art channel. We do some art. Hope everybody's doing well. Apologies again for the last minute live, but that's how we roll over here at Casa de Eduardo. And, we go with the flow. So you're like, okay, what am I looking at and why am I looking at it? Well, it might be a little backwards, but this is a large scale gel print, obviously. I did on my 12 by 14 gel plate. However, and it's many layers. This is something I was just playing around with off camera. It's got many layers. I did a lot of sponging through stencils and spraying of water and letting it dry. You see a lot of like puddling effects and stuff. Um, and then I cut up my the sheet of Yasutomo sketch paper as evenly as I could, even though I didn't do it as evenly on the plate. Anyway, so I laid these down. I laid down my pull color, which is this really pretty ultramarine blue light or light blue. And I then laid each one of these pieces down individually. So I've got, like perfect size backgrounds or collage pieces, that I can use for different projects. It doesn't always have to, so it's not just like a big, huge print I have to store. So I thought it'd be fun to make something like this today. Um, and so I've got some stencils out. I've got my gel plate. Um, it's just going to be a kind of just playing around and see what we can come up with kind of day. I don't know how many prints we're going to get today, but we're going to, work on building a print, I guess we could say, and building up the layers to create something cool. But then picking it up with the smaller pieces of paper to create like these individual little pieces. So, anyway, welcome to my channel. I'm glad you're here today. So, let me go through the chat here and say hello to folks. Hi, Adrian. Hello, Mariah. Hello, Aubrey. Hi, Rosemary. Hi, Karen. Hi, Dee. Dee is Darcy. Hi, Zal. Hello, Linda and Ann Webb. Hi, Christina. Hello, Lynn. Welcome, welcome, everybody. Don't forget to hit that like button. Much appreciated. It goes a long way. You do not believe. Especially these days, views are down, and this is frustrating. That's YouTube for you. They love messing around. So I got my big old plate here today. And can you tell me, can you spot something that is not here that was here before? Something different. There's something different. I'll let you guess. Hi, Debbie. How are you? Um, so for today's main stencil, I'm using my friend and fellow designers, Christy Hartman's Monstera masks, set of 3. This is style 2. Style 1 is more of distressed leaf, let's say. So it's got more distressing on the edges. But I chose style 2 to play with today. Yes. I got a new light. It's not as annoying as the ring lights. You can see more of the gel plate. So I got this whole like contraption set up over my desk. So hopefully nothing will go wrong. Everything will be fine. All right. So I'm going to lay these out. And what I want to do is I want to work on a kind of background all around it. let that sucker dry, lift the masks, let it dry, and then come in and fill in the masked off area. So that's my plan, Stan. So I think I'm gonna start with there. Let's see. I'll play around with some placements. Hello, Virginia. How are you? Yeah. Yeah, I got a new lamp. It was like kind of cheapo at the Wally World. So I figured let me, go ahead and get it now. Um because the ring light was getting really annoying. And also it was just like it wasn't bright enough. I don't know if it's just like old or something, but just wasn't bright enough for me. I mean, this isn't super bright, but it's better. So again, this is the Monstera Mask Set of 3 available at PMR Studio. All of their stencils are Yupo. And if you've never used Yupo or Yupo stencils, a little info sheet here on what is Yupo. It is 100% waterproof, ideal for art. It's 100% polypropylene and tree-free, so it's plastic. All types of paints, inks, and more work well with this. It's washable, reusable, and a reliable control surface. So if you want to scan that QR code, you can, it'll take you to the PM Artist Studio Clean, Care, and Use Guide over there, right? If you missed it, you can go back in the video, hit the rewind. You can do that during a live. It's while you're watching a live stream. If you miss something or you want to see a label or something and it's just moving, it's moving along, you can go back. You can rewind the live stream. You can take the little dot you see moving along the bottom of the video. You can grab onto that with your mouse or your finger and push it back to where you may have seen that thing you wanted to look at and pause it, and there you go, and then hit live again and get you back to the live stream. So that's just a pro YouTube tip for you. Yes, my cleaning video is on that page in which I demonstrate how to clean your stencils with water and Murphy's oil. And it works. It works really well. I still do it that way. And I don't clean my stencils super often, so I'm not like a freak that way. But there are those of you who prefer to keep the stencil clean. So my recommendation is keeping some sort of bucket or bin next to your work area, and put your stencils in that as you're done with them, so that the paint doesn't stick, and then you can clean them, wipe them up, and do all that good stuff. All right, so let's see here. Haven't thought really color wise, not kind of planned that yet. But let's first see. Let's find a stencil here to stamp onto. It's kind of what we're doing. We're doing like oh, there we go. That paper's gone everywhere. Anyway, we're stenciling. That's what we're doing. So let me see here. I pulled out a selection, nothing specific, just kind of different things to play with. Yeah, let's play with this one. This is my squiggles and squares. This is the 5x7. Excuse me. 5x7. It comes in 3 different sizes. Oh my God. Hi, Kirsten. How are you? I always think about you. Quirky Queens, that's my friend Kirsten from Scotland. Amazing artist and busy lady, apparently. Very, very happy for your success. I hope everything's well. Hello, Pia. Welcome. What a nice surprise. All right, here. Let's get some paint. I should get my I guess I could use this here. Maybe we can shift this way. So I can squeeze my 5x7 onto Har. Um, let's start with something on the lighter side. How about that? I'll just do some yellow. Um, and as many of you know, I do use my 5x7 plates often to either mix paint or use it as a palette of some sort. Um, so it's a good tip for you, because then you can go over it and with a and pull it and have like a really cool print or something. Let's see here. It's going to be a little random. That's kind of what I did with the other ones, the other big print. Kind of sat here. I put on I watched a marathon of 8 out of 10 Cats Does Countdown, which is a game show in Britain, in England, not the UK really. And they do like, anagrams and number problems, that sort of thing. But this version is a little more wild than the original. It comes on, in the evening, so it's like it's a what do you call that thing? It's irreverent. Let's say it's really funny, but also it's fun because get to like do a it's like word puzzles and figuring out, jumbled words and math problems. So it keeps you kind of sharp. So as you get older, you got to work on those gray cells. Good. Oh, that's exciting. I'm glad to see you, Kirsten. I'm so happy. Oh, by the way, I don't know if I'm sure you've seen footage in Scotland, but Scottish World Cup soccer fans invaded Boston and they had a blast. They had such a good time. And I'm so proud of my city. We did a really good job considering all the BS with that whole situation, but we Boston's doing a good job with it. The Scottish fans were treated to a big event at Fenway Park, and my old neighborhood. There's a Scottish restaurant called the Haven. It's where I tried my first Scotch egg, and the first time I tried haggis, which it's okay. Anyway, um, they hosted a big event for the soccer fans, and yeah, so it was fun. There was even they interviewed a Parks and Recreation employee in one of our, I think it was Boston Common. It was one of the larger parks, anyway. Um, and he was there. Yeah, and he was there. And he was the day after an event, whatever, and he was so surprised at how clean they left the area. Like he's like, it wasn't really dirty. They picked up after themselves. I'm like, how amazing is that? That's awesome. So much love, Scotland. Much love. All right, so we've got a little layer of yellow going on there. I'm gonna come over here too. I just wanna let this dry a little bit. The traffic cones, yes. Hi, Keeks. How are ya? Yeah, so that's all I know about the World Cup. I don't watch soccer or really follow it. I just kind of hear things here and there. But yeah, so you know, like I said, despite the nonsense surrounding the event, it's Massachusetts held their own because, like, it says Boston events, but a lot of times the stuff happens outside the city, so not actually in Boston. You may have seen like super long lines of fans waiting to get on transportation to take them to the soccer matches, and that's because, like I said, they're not in. There was yeah, they're not in the city. I don't think there was any stadiums in the city that had an event um, that I know of. So I could be wrong, but I don't think they did. So I think the closest was Foxborough, which is where the Patriots play football, American football. Hello, Amanda. How are ya? Welcome. We're doing a little gel printing today. All right, let's make a little orange. Make a little orange for my friend Adrian. I'm gonna put some magenta in here. Mix it up. Like I said, today's a little casual day. Not doing anything mind blowing. I just wanted to show you how I create a large, oversized print, but then I break them down. There we are. So I when I lay down my pull color, I don't put one sheet of paper. I cut it up into smaller, more manageable pieces, and that way I have these individual, smaller pieces to create with. I don't know. Might work for some, but it's a little too red. Let's smell the. What's that? That's caramel. I don't want that. A little yellow ochre. Oh, we're happy to have you here. I say we, it's just me. I guess the we refers to everybody in the chat. There we go. Little darker orange, more rusty orange. I started up here, so let me come back and go. And I'm trying to work in thin layers so it dries quickly for us. But some of the other one I did had thicker layers, especially because of the spraying of water. So a lot of puddles. You have to wait for them to dry. But so I'm going to try and not do as much of that today. But it's all good. It's hot here today, so things should dry pretty quickly. Been lucky having some good weather lately. Sunny, warm, but not obnoxious. Again, I'm just being random here. I think that's the charm of that other print is just the randomness. But what I'm all but I also, thinking about, transparency and not allowing and not putting down too many opaque colors unless I think about it, because you want your layers to show. Okay, retire you for the moment. Take a peek here. So you see, it's not bad. A couple of spots there. Well, I think that's the thing about the gel plate, Virginia, is that you, I don't know, for me, it freed up my whole thinking of how to do things and kind of allowed me to be more relaxed. Um, because there is that element of mystery and excitement with gel printing because you don't always know what you're going to get. necessarily, no matter how much you plan it. I think because of just different elements, but um, it's fun to be random because you can surprise yourself with what your with your results. Ooh, words are hard, man. All right, forgive me. Forgive me. What do I have? Here, this is not a real proper stencil. This is, I believe, an IMPP. I could be wrong, but it's a portion of aqueous effervescence from PM Artist Studio. So let's add some bubles to this. Hello, Dorothy. Welcome. It was raining down there in Alabama. Oh, let's do some, add a little alizarin crimson to the palette here. Uh, this is a semi-transparent paint too. And again, depending on how thick you add your paints, depends on you can make it more transparent by adding less. Something like that. So there were some spots that needed a little attention. And I try not to go to the edge too much. I went to the edge there and it leaves a line. So I try to like not to go to the edge so the shapes are more organic. Oh, too bad they can't be delivered, Virginia. See, that's not bad. It's nice and looking. Building. Go off the plate again. So it's more of an organic edge. Yeah, I get that, Virginia. I do. I get that. Yep. I think a lot of us do. It's just not as fun when the weather's poorly. So I get that too. Yeah. Just gonna shift this over and get me some action over here in the corner. There we go. All right. So I'm gonna set you to the side. You can dry. Gonna switch to another plate. Let this finish drying. Twist and turn, twist and turn. All my plates are like literally right behind me, so I gotta like twist and turn and do all that fun stuff. So yeah. The other one I didn't use stencils. I didn't use masks originally. Look, like I just did different stenciling and all that. So I think for this one, what I'm going to try and do is do a little bit of just stenciling throughout. This one caught my eye. This is a wicker rattan. Don't ask me the style, but you can find it at pmartiststudio.com. And I'm going to take my smaller brayer and dip into some of this paint here. Let's have at it. Hi, Gray. How are you? Hey, Becky. Was I singing? Did I did. I sang the PM Artist Studio. PM Artist Studio. I got to get my own jingle. And don't be afraid to go back over it too, mess up the design. Make it unrecognizable. Why not? Oops, pulled up some paint. That's okay. There we go. Get a little violent. All right. Well, I don't do jingles. I'm not musically inclined. So, but, we'll see. I think a stencil fell somewhere. All right. Give this a second. Shouldn't take that long to dry. Oh, here. This, I believe, was a special set that was released. I honestly, I don't know if it exists as a regular item, but I will get the info for you after the stream. I forgot to look it up before the stream because I was doing other stuff. However, I will do my best to get you the info. So let's add some lineage to this. And oh God, ambulances. Someone's dying. Just saying. Just saying. Oh no, that's not the Boston accent. That's no, I haven't done that. Hi, Cindy. Metallic. What am I looking for? Green metallic. Goodfellas. Yeah, there you go. It was more New York. It was more New York. Old dude on the street kind of thing. I need some paper to clean this off. Right. This is just craft deli paper. For those of you who don't know. And feel free to ask questions. I will do my best to answer. You know how we do. I'm going to do some green on here. This is Liquitex metallic green. Oh no, in high school, no. I was a very good student in high school, Pia. Let's just say I still suffer from back problems because of how many books we had to carry. Um, Actually, my high school is still one of the top high schools in the country. It usually ranks pretty high for schools. So no, I was my head was always in a book. Yeah, no, when I've lived in different places, so that helps remove the accent a little bit. But also, when I was in college, I was in Emerson College for 3 years, and I studied. Uh, you know, it was a communications degree. So I studied. There was one course. What's it called? Voice and articulation. I think I don't know if they call it that anymore, but that's what it was called. And it basically it taught you how to control your regionalism or your accent, not to get rid of it necessarily, but to control it with different techniques or exercises. Um, so it was a fun class. It helped because a lot of the careers that we were going for there were in radio or television or the movies. So you know, it's a lot of wannabe actors that I went to school with. They were fun. So I like this combo with the green and stuff, like you see here on these other prints. Got some green going on there with the magenta and the copper and the gold. So it's a fun mix, but it all works together. Oh, the final exam. Oh, we're going back to the 90s here. So let's see. Um, I think the final exam was more just like we were graded like constantly because there's a lot of it's a very oral class, not to sound crass, but that's what it was. Um, so there's a lot of, on the spot grading, that type of thing, but um I think the final was like just a written paper, and then we had like stuff to do in class, but yeah, yeah. Yeah. It's funny because like sometimes like Mariah will saying something, certain words, and or it's hard for her to say it, or it's like it's not coming out right. So I'm like, take it out the nose, girl. Texas is in the nose, but you got to take it out the nose so we can hear, so we can understand you better. That's a big thing too. Is where your um uh uh where your tongue lays in your mouth. That's something you got to get into practice of to control your regionalism. Well, it wasn't a class about doing accents, Pia. It was a class about how to control your accent for broadcast. So television, radio, movies. Um, so someone from like the deep South, like Virginia was mentioning, who has a deep Southern accent, learned how to position their tongue and pronounce that, so they can pronounce things in such a way where their accent wasn't not necessarily wasn't noticeable, but wasn't as noticeable as originally. You know, it was an interesting class. That is for sure. All right, let's get another color up here. There's a woodpecker going off around here. It's all like banging. Um, I guess, yeah. Yeah, there's some places where the accent isn't strong. There's a lot of parts of the country where like you get people from all over the country that flock there for some reason, so they don't always have a certain accent or typical accent, but Every place has an accent. You gotta listen for it. All right, so I have let's get some a blue. This is brilliant blue. It says it's opaque, but I think if we get it, I don't know, but Tennessee, at least when I lived in Memphis, that side of Tennessee, because Tennessee is a long state. So if this is the United States, right? This is the East Coast, this is the West Coast. So this is Tennessee here. I lived in this end, right above, right next to Arkansas. So the accent was thick. Oh, California, definitely. Yeah, depending on where you are in California, it's like anywhere. California runs a good portion of the coast, so anywhere it's going to have different accents, even within the state, for sure. Same here in Massachusetts. Got a little blue state here. Did I say hi, Vanessa? Yeah, hi, Vanessa. Hi, Alicia. Welcome, welcome. Oh, I gotta pick a stencil, don't I? Let's do some flowery something. Speaking of West Coast, what's up, Rhonda? Rhonda's my West Coast buddy. You see, it's not as opaque as you would make it turn out to be. Oh, thank you, Becky. Okay, so those four stencils like this that was part of this set. That is from Carrie's Lazy Layers. Very good detective work, Miss Becky. Because I was thinking about it earlier, and I'm like, I cannot remember who's this by. This is before I started writing on the stencil, like who's who, what's what. So where are you? Hi, Cindy. Where, Rosemary, where are you located? If you don't mind me asking, like you could be as general as you want to be. Okay. Yeah. No, Ohio does have an accent. I visited Ohio a few times. Unfortunately, it was to visit the headquarters of one of the men in the Epstein files. That's so terrible. I know. Anyway, no, never be embarrassed to be wrong. I make mistakes all the time. Yeah. So, if you're familiar at all with the Epstein file and that whole debacle, Les Wexner was one of his big original and biggest uh, financiers of Jeffrey Epstein. If you are familiar with the Limited, Bath and Body Works, Structure, which was a clothing store for men, Express, um, Victoria's Secret, those are all under the umbrella of the Limited Corporation, who is owned what is and is owned by Les Wexner. So when I worked for the corporation, I won several awards. And so a couple of times they flew us out to Columbus, Ohio, to their headquarters for special events. So I got to meet the man. Let's just say it still creeps me out to this day that I was that close contact with someone like that. Very, very disturbing. Yeah. All right. This is coming along nicely. Let's take a look from the other side. That's good. Friona. Friona sounds like something from the Three Stooges. I don't know why, but it does. All right, let's get back to the first one. We still got our masks down. And if you're just joining us, what I'm doing is I'm masking off a large section of my large plate, doing stenciling all around it. Then I'll come back and take the mask off and maybe do something on the inside of there. Don't know yet. I haven't figured that out completely, but I am using a Christy Hartman stencil here. Where's that paper? Where's that paper? It's Monstera Style 2 by Christy Hartman. 3 pieces there. Yeah. It's awful, Keeks, isn't it? Oh, so it was a cold river. Yeah, it's disturbing. I mean, I was with the corporation for like 6 years, 6, 7 years, before I went to J. Crew. Hello, Nancy. How are ya? I'm gonna mix this blue and this metallic green, because why not? We can do what we want. It's our party. Wait, what? Who? What? Kind of didn't give her an outfit. I don't know what you're talking about, Virginia. Oh, this is the same version. These were the store's history. I did some in-mall modeling for limited. Yes, she was only 11 so the year. Don't give color. Kind of. Yeah, I mean, it's very different. It was very different. Although, every company had their own thing. When I worked for Nordstrom, I we had a lot of Hugo Boss was very generous to us. Let's just say. Um, Virginia, I was there in from 2000 to 2002 at the J. Crew in Atlanta. I was much darker, much thinner, but yeah, if you were there then, you saw me running around. That place was insanely busy, but it was so much fun. Yeah, Hugo Boss always gave us good, nice clothes to wear. I got a lot from different manufacturers, coming in to promote their shirts and stuff. So we'd get, and at the time, I was the same size as the sample size for dress shirts. Um, so I usually was just loaded up with dress shirts and um, nice ties. Let's get All right, let's talk about some leaf action. I know this one I believe is Carrie's as well, Tambien. So let's put some of these down. Why not? Try. Oh yeah, yeah. Nordstrom was an experience for sure. Now this is one of the first layers that I'm doing that it's more opaque, but I think that's okay because I do want these to stand out. Um, and I like this stencil because they go, in a couple of different ways, so it gives you options. So like I want to do this one here. to Daily Show. Oh, I know. Kirsten, I know, girl. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. I knew this definitely by Carrie. I just didn't know the name. But thank you so much. Let's get some leafage in there. I'm going to turn this to make it easier so I don't muck up the paint I just put down. Get some leaves coming down. Here. God, don't make it so hard, Eddie. Oops. I got paint on both sides. Yuck. If you make a little boo-boo, you can just wipe it. If you do it quickly enough, it comes up. Get some green in here. Kind of like, like in between the petals and stuff. Or pieces. I don't know what you'd call that, but in between there. I think I want here. You see, the less paint I add, which because it's drying up, it's not as opaque. Which is fine too. I need to get water. John, a little water. So dunk your sponges in water and they'll stay good for you. They'll be stained, but rinse them off, whatever, and they'll be good for another day of playing around. Some water on there. Okay, so I think what I'm going to do at this point is I want to get a layer of something over this, but and I want to do my whole thing with the water and to create some texture. And but a color, I gotta pick a color. Let's see. I want to use something transparent. I'm gonna go with this Azo Gold. It may eat up some of what I've already put down. But I'm gonna risk that because I think this will be fun. So I'm gonna put down the paint. Don't need a ton. Because see, you'll see. Spread as best you can. This is golden fluid acrylic. It's transparent, it's fast drying, so you don't have to put down a thick layer if you don't want to, and it dries quickly. You know what I'm trying to say. Words are hard today. So I'm going to spritz it over and get that moving. And what that water does is it breaks apart the paint. And creates really cool kind of texture, little things going on. So I'm going to flip this to the back shelf, let that finish drying. Come back to Lisa Van. Now, Lisa Van, definitely do more with this. for. Let's get you out of the way. You out of the way. This next part, I think stamps would be fun. So I got some of my bugs. These are my spotted lantern flies. And let me get my little plate here. Let's see. Color. I'm just going to spread that out there. But I'm going to use that side. Sorry, you can't see I'm wiping my knife off on a piece of paper over here on the side. Oh, nice. Like, I need to. There we go. Get the table more in shot there. So let's see. What color? I'm going to go with gold. Let's get some gold. Now, if you aren't familiar with foam stamps, these are great to use on the gel plate. They're great to use with acrylic paints. Just make sure you wash them off when you're done, because you don't want the paint to dry on them. Otherwise, it will mess up your stamp. So I'm just going to stamp a few of these here and there. Hide some behind the thicker paint. That's always fun. Some are poking up. Because remember, I'm doing individual pieces of paper. So I want a little bit, try and get a little bit on each one maybe. And a little wingage there. There we go. Paper is very wet paper. So what I do for the stamp to wash, or at least to keep it from drying out while I'm working, put a little water in a bowl, put your stamp down, and gravity will do its thing, pull all the paint away from your stamp, and then it just needs a quick rinse. That's it. Thank you, thank you. I'm glad you're enjoying this. If you have not, please hit that like button. It goes a long way to help the channel out. Much appreciated. And if you already have, thank you. Thank you, thank you. All right, let's add some more gold, but I'm gonna use, what was I gonna use? Oh, the thoughts leave me quickly. Oh, I want to use these dots here. Let's use some dots. Because I can bend the stencil here to fit where I want it to fit. Here's a sponge. going over the line. Trying to avoid line marks. Okay. A little bit here, and I think that's good. Trying to use up some of this paint here. There we go. And that paint dries pretty quickly, so I think we're good. Okay. Yeah, there's so much you can do. I can even come in with, if I wanted to, with not, I don't have pan pastels, but I have those like eyeshadow type things. You can use something like that, or mica powders. I'm sticking with acrylic paint today, kind of looking to see where it needs attention and some love, and I'm seeing some of these red areas need some love here. So let me clean off the decks here. Because I'm gonna do some maintenance here. Oh, I'm happy it is, Karen. Very happy. Hello, Caroline. How are you? Yeah, you could do mica powders on there. A great tool to use the mica powders on the gel plate is those makeup paddle brushes. Those are great. They don't damage the plate, and they spread the powder nicely, and it doesn't go everywhere. Creating some cool papers here with just cleaning off these plates. Another fun way to create something unique and interesting. Most of that's dry, which is good. Let's pull up whatever's wet. All right, so I want to get a darker color. Let's find something fun to stencil. Since I have her here, Miss Rhonda, we're going to use one of Rhonda's lovely designs. This one is Fleur de Lis Distress. I don't know. It is Fleur de Lis, but it's a distressed one because you'll see it's got like these like wonky. Let me put some paper in here so you can see it. Here we go. You see these more like wonky areas. So it's like it's got some, interest throughout. It's not the exact same patterns. Hello, Chiquita. ¿Cómo está, mi amiga? Bienvenidos al studio Eddie Makes Art. All right, so darker color. Let's see, what do we got? What do we got? What do we got? Aren't you the guy who tried to? How about some Pathalo blue? Oops, that was the bottle. Estoy muy bien, gracias. What intro? Oh, I don't know. Do it in Spanish, Karen. Is that what you're saying? Same with this design, kind of just you don't create like a square or circle, like kind of be random and about it. I have to go. I'll have to watch the replay to find out exactly what I said because I forget. And I wish I had chosen something darker, but I'm not gonna worry about that right now. We're just doing layers and layers. Oh, God. Need- God, I like that. But I'm gonna flip it over. Get a little. I think the top here is getting lonely. There we go. Let's see how the other ones do. Too bad. Mostly wet where the stencil is. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna speed the process along and dab it with a paper towel gently, because that will also create some cool texture. Now you can certainly, if you're doing this, you just let it dry, let it go. But I want to try and at least get it to the point where I can show you putting the paper down. We may not pull this today um, on camera, but I can at least get it to that point of getting the paper down. So that gave us some interesting stuff going on there. Stencils are going to look kind of cool though, with the patterning that we got on them. Um, hmm. Sorry, I had a couple of thoughts going through my head. I'm just trying to figure out, do I want to add a layer of paint now, then pull off the mask, or pull off the mask and then do my thing inside the openings there? Hmm. This is a tricky one because all kinds of possibilities. What I'm really digging is the look of the stencil. Like, I don't want to go over it with paint. They look so cool. That's another thing. If you get Yupo, your stencil to a point where it's got like all these layers and it looks really cool, cut it up. Use it in your mixed media art. Why not? P does it all the time. Hmm. Because I'm thinking like I want to do kind of like a more opaque. I don't know. This is a tough one. Yeah, I created my own problem, but we can figure this out. I can do also patches of color, like more opaque patches. Got some gold ink here. What is this? This is copper plated gold ink. What if we put some ink around here? Let me shake up my ink here. I'm going to throw some ink down. Why don't we do that? Trying not to disturb the paint that's already there. And you know what I forgot that I did, and I forgot to show you. Duh. So I got these um Deb, your Deb, I mean, sorry, your Barb, Karen. Um, she sent me these in some Happy Mail, and I never used them. And I was like, let me get some paint in there and use them for like mark making. So like the black one. Oh, what did I do with that? Let's get over it again. Oh, so I did some of the black one on the plate earlier, and then put the paper down and picked it up, and then I went over it with just the white. So what I did was I put black acrylic in here, white acrylic in here. I added a ball to each one and topped it off with um, airbrush medium, this fun stuff here, so that I could do this. Ah, doesn't want to play. No, it's harder to do because on the plate, because it's got a sharp nib. I don't want to pierce my plate, so I'm trying to be gentle. But why not? Let's just make some marks. Do some white. Eek. No, not on my shirt, on the plate. It literally went on my shirt and not on the plate. No, it doesn't want to come out. Urgh. And I didn't put a lot of paint in these. I maybe put like that much paint, like I filled it up to there with paint and the rest. And then I did some airbrush medium. So the whole bottle is not even full. Guess it just needs a little encouragement. There we go. I think the ball might get stuck there too in the where the paint comes out. So I've got to give it a good shake. There we go. All right. Messy fun. But I'm not going to leave it there. No. Jelly paper. I'm going to smoosh it. Smoosh it. All right. There we go. Fun paper. Cool print. Let's see what we've done here. Oh, that's fun. Got all kinds of cool stuff going on there. I'm looking for the metallic. It's hard to see because of the plate and the light, but it's there. All right, give that a little bit to dry. I think at this point I am going to take these masks off. Gentle. Just remember, brand new Yupo loves to grab your plate, which is why it makes it great to do. But look at that. I just framed that. Let me set you aside. Because what I may do is scan these on my scanner so I can then continue using the stencil. So how cool are those? Fun. All right, Virginia, we take care and enjoy the rest of your Wednesday. So now we've got this opening here, but for now, we're going to let the rest of that dry. Yeah, this dried pretty well. I think we're going to do some water treatment to this one too. Just why not? Or actually, I'm seeing this here and I want to use this. This is one of Paula's stencils, Paula Keen, of her design. So maybe we'll do some of this here, kind of like in those sections, maybe. I don't know. Yeah, let's do that. But let's think of a color. I already got gold. I don't want to use gold. I already got the shiny green. I think white, maybe we should do white. Or we really don't have any yellow on here. Yellow. Up here. Hmm. How about some brilliant yellow green? Let's scrape this down. All right. Go. Need another sponge. Look at all my sponges. All right. Thank you, Becky. This one is called Screwy Circles by Paula. Part of the set. So check that out later. All right. Let's do it. Let's do it. Sort of like. Do the whole length of it. Why not? Okay. Okay. Mhm. So this is another one of those paints that's semi-opaque, depending on how thick you add it. How thick you lay it down because it does have white in it, but it's not. You can make it more transparent by putting down less. So like you see here, it becomes more transparent the less you put out. Okay. Thanks, Chiquita. Yeah, I like that. Seeing these empty spots. So let's find us another stencil that would be fun. Oh, where is it? I just had it, just had it, just had it. No, no, there it is. This one is Wonky Net by PM Artist Studio. Tambien. Um, yeah, let's just go dark. I'm gonna let me put that in water. Let me try this one off here a little bit. Thinking black, but I'm just gonna add some here. Some was it Payne's gray to this phthalo blue, and then maybe some of this. No, not you, not you. Here, this stuff here, alizarin. Kind of try and make my own black here, so it's a little more exciting than just the black from the tube. Not bad for a last minute put together shade of black. It's very plummy in person, but it's pretty dark. So let's get into some of these more untouched areas. Let me check it out before I get carried away. Oh yeah. Okay. I like that. All right, so I'm gonna let that finish drying, and then we can put a pull color on that. I do need to cut up my paper though, so let me clear off the decks here. And spread that out, let that dry. There we go. Some more fun paper. You see how dark that was? Pretty dark, but it's a nice dark because you could see the different colors in there. Mind you, I did mix some of that green in there, but even still, like, kind of cool. Don't be afraid to mix your pinks. Mix it up. I know. Paper. So, like I said, for that large gel plate, I used one of these sheets of the Yasutomo sketch paper. I'm going to go ahead and cut this down and get that ready. Mariah's working and lurking. She works hard for the money. So hard for it, honey. Hello, Carla. It's been going on for ages. I've been on since 12 Eastern time. So I'm just going to go ahead. War Pig, hello. I don't think I know you. How are ya? Welcome, welcome. If you have another name you'd like to be called, just let me know. Take care, Cindy. Thanks for hanging out. Yeah, it's a good watch, Carla. Pretty cash today. Just layering paints with different stencils over each other on the gel plate. We're gonna create one big print, but like small individual prints. So like I did a big gel print the other day on that 12 by 14 paper. What's that wet? God. On the 12 by 14 gel plate. And then I put individual pieces of paper. So I got these really cool individual pieces of prints that I can use for projects. That. So that's kind of the goal I'm going for today, demonstrating. I'm doing two. Hello, SB Farmer. Welcome, welcome. Those of you just joining us, please hit that like button. Let everybody know we're over here having a good time. Much appreciated. That's the problem with that large pad of paper. I have to keep it folded like that to fit in the drawer. So there's always a curved edge. So I'm just gonna hold you flat. I can fold it over. Hello, Glenda. Welcome. And obviously, you can cut these in different sizes. This is a great way to do ATCs. Apologies, I meant to say that earlier. So I've done this process before to make ATCs. So you just cut your paper the ATC size, which is 2.5 inches by 3.5 inches, and you get a full gel print on your ATC size piece of paper. I don't know why I'm being so precise today. Usually I'm not, but it's because you're watching. Carla, your body will tell you when it's ready to get up. That's what I gotta say. Don't listen to those folk. You listen to your body. Your body will tell you what you need. Everybody thinks they know what you need. Your body knows what you need. Listen to yourself. Oh, that's great, Glenda. Yeah, I keep meaning to, every time I do my food order, I keep meaning to order flowers and stuff to do some botanical prints, and I forget. Hello, Lisa Alexander. Welcome. Glad to have you here today. Don't worry, I'll get back to the fun in a minute. I'm just trying to cut up this paper for that first print. And I'm using the Yasutomo sketch paper just because I have the large sheet of it, so it's easy to cover that entire plate. I'm just gonna make sure the smooth side. That's what you want. Is you want the smooth side of the Yasutomo paper down onto your plate to pull your print. That is the best way. And it's got two sides. You'll notice it's a smoother side, and then one side has that's more texture. Let's set that over here. Now maybe for the other one, I'll do this here. This is the Hammermill 28-pound color copy paper. So if you don't have that, the Yasutomo paper, you can use this stuff here. One, two, three, 4, 5.5. Roughly. Come on, stop moving. Oh yeah. One of my subscribers, I think it was Jennifer. Jennifer, if you see her in the chat, her handle is Jennifer's Dog Life. She saw me struggling one day and she said, I think you might like that. And I do. And I just changed the blade, so it should be nice and sharp, but this cutting mat is not zip-based. There we go. Yeah, so it's nice and sharp. Let's see. I'm just going to randomly cut it in thirds. We have rulers, but we don't need the numbers. Numbers just get in the way. Cutting. That was user error. I didn't push down hard enough. I'm trying not to cut myself, you know. Now these don't have a side. This color copy paper, it doesn't have a side, so you don't have to worry about that. Hello, Stamp Girl. How are you? That's wrong. I did this wrong. There we go. Yes, Dalise is in the house. Look at that. That turned out fun. This is just cleanup from the from that from that print. Okay. All right, so this one. All right, let's talk about pull colors. So we want something, obviously, that's gonna coordinate, something that's going to make everything look great and make it cohesive. And we didn't do anything we didn't do any strange combinations. So this shouldn't be too difficult. I think it's going to come down to like a matter of choice. But well, I don't want to do the green, Becky, because I've got these circles here, a lighter green. I don't want to. And then I have this metallic light green here that's very light. I don't want to lose that. I'm honestly thinking something just more neutral for this. So hmm, maybe silver will work. Where's silver at? Where my silver at? Why don't we do that? Let's do this one with the silver. Because that'll be fun. Let me get myself situated here because I've got a lot of stuff going on. Yeah. Yeah, I could definitely do white with this. You could do a beige or a cream. Um, uh, a very, very, very light blue. We could do, you could do a yellow. Because we didn't use like we really didn't use yellow. The closest to yellow on here is the gold, which will stand out anyway. Get my brayer off ready. Hello, Paula Keen. Do you recognize something on this plate, girl? I know you do. Look. Those are yours. Hello, Carol Buckingham. Welcome. Okay, sir. Let me move some of this out of my way. Oh, Paula, make dinner. I use this sprayer. All right, so the trick is, do I have enough paper? Um, some extra strips of tissue here in case I run out of the color copy paper. Okay. So this is a matter of coordination, having your stuff ready to go, because I'm not using one full sheet. I'm laying down individual sheets of paper, so it's going to take a little bit more time. So we got to make sure that we're not We're doing this smart. So let me do a section here. Go from there. I think that'll work best. Like half. Trying not to overlap them. Trying to do. We're gonna lose that bottom part. That's okay. I want some tissue. Maybe this part here. Put some tissue down. Then gently press on that. We'll do the other half. Oh, don't worry. We'll pull these. Where there's a will, there's a way. That's why I said best not to overlap them. If there's a little gap, that's okay. We'll make it happen. You got to be gentle, but it will work. Now, I think I did film myself pulling those prints that I showed you at the beginning that I was trying to duplicate today. So I have to post that soon. I didn't want to post it before the live stream, so I knew I wanted to do this for you. So, but I wanted to wait. Having storms. Where's the storms? Where are you, Dallas? Are you in the central part of the country? Are you in one of them square starts? Or are you like in Michigan, Ohio? And now we got a beautiful piece of silver paper. Midwest Illinois. All right, so what you could do too is just take a big, larger piece of paper and go over this with your Baron. Get a good press on that. Good choice, Becky. Look at that. I love it. Me gusta mucho. Gracias. Okay, vamos. All right. Ah, now we got this beauty to play with. All right, so now this one. I'm going to employ the use of a paintbrush. Correct. The camera's shaking. Let's get some paint on a palette. We're going to do some handiwork here. All right. This is Green Gold by Golden Liquitex or Golden Fluid. And I like doing this on the gel plate because sometimes like you get really cool things happening with the brush marks. Just looks really cool. Now, essentially, I can just go over this entire thing here. Not worried about. But I want to kind of use the strokes to also indicate, the direction of the leaf and such, if that makes sense. So forgive me if I'm not reading the chat. I'm trying to concentrate on getting this done before it all dries on me. Whoa. All right. So my house may be haunted. I don't know. But if you just hear that noise come on, that's my air conditioner. I haven't touched anything. It's on a remote. Like I don't unless I want it on, it doesn't go on. It's not automatic. But for the last couple of days, it's been turning itself on randomly. So I don't know. I think the ghost is hot, but it is very strange. So give me a second. I need to go turn that off. This is how I turned it on and off. And this was on the other side of this desk area that I'm at. Explain that to me. Very, very weird. Very weird. I don't know. Let's see where that green down. Yes, Becky. Yeah, this would be a great way to fill in the empty space from a long haul. Yep. That is a yummy color, I have to say. Well, there's not I mean, I don't understand how the remote could set itself off with no one touching it. It doesn't make sense to me, but yeah, it could be the battery, but I'll have to check on that. I would have batteries, but lovely folks at Amazon, when I ordered a large package of double A batteries, the skinny, the small skinny ones, not or the triple A rather. They sent me a large box of double A, which I really don't have a lot of use for at the moment. So yeah, I just don't have the energy or the will to send them back because it's just a pain in the butt. Like where I used to live, I could just walk up the street to the grocery. There's a Whole Foods there that accepted Amazon returns, so I could just go there, drop off my return, and easy peasy, no problem. And out here in the godforsaken suburbs, you have to have a car and go to the post office. Okay. Let me get a little bit more paint here. A little bit more. I didn't think about that, Lisa, but for next time I will. All right, that's looking pretty good. I'll let that dry. No, the burbs are terrible. And if you don't have a car, if you're not used, if you don't, if you can't afford a car, if you can't afford to take a taxi or Uber everywhere, you're stuck. And I live with a family who could give two flying fudges about me. So, I don't get any offers of, hey, do you need a ride somewhere? Hey, nothing like that. So I am stuck here. Um, and if I do have to go somewhere, I gotta fork out money for car hire, and it's a pain in the butt. All right, let me get some more. Mm, All right. Carla, I'm telling you, I'm in the middle of, I'm not gonna cuss, but it's a piece of crap town. It's got nothing. I moved from Boston that has everything to here. Don't get me started. Don't get me started. Co-fund for what? A car? I don't even have a driver's license. And and if I could, if there were better transportation and it was more of a walkable city, I could get around and I could go and get a proper, I can get a part-time job somewhere, make some extra money. I can't do that here. I have no way of getting around here. Pretty shitty. Asheville, no. I'm not doing the South, Carla. Until every state turns blue, I'm not doing any place in the South because Republicans have ruined the South of this country and red states for me. That's another reason I won't go back. I won't move to a red state again. Republicans have created such bad policies in those states. They don't like the LGBTQ plus community, which I'm part of. They don't like the brown community, which I am part of. So I don't want to give them any more money. As it is, blue states like Massachusetts, California, New York, we fund red states because the Republican policies in those red states are so awful. They don't create their own money. They don't bring in any money. We subsidize, blue states subsidize, blue state taxpayers subsidize red states. Okay? So when you get a new road or you get a new bridge, you know, yeah, but the problem, Alicia, is that it's still not friendly to those communities. Hey, if you want to live there, that's fine. But I see what I've lived in both So I know what both is capable of. And right now, red states are not meeting the match. Until voters wake up and vote those red people out, and get rid of those scumbags and get rid of those thieves, you're never going to have anything good. I live in a state that has been voted one of the best states for the LGBTQ plus community. Okay. That's what I'm about. A community that takes care of everybody, not just a certain color, not just a certain neighborhood, not just a certain class of people. It takes care of everybody as best as they can. And when you have politicians who are constantly undermining that and voters who constantly vote against their own needs for whatever reason because I was raised Republican, so I'm always going to vote Republican, which is the dumbest thing ever. um as a leftist, there's somebody on my side of the aisle who's done something messed up. You know what I say? Get them out. Bye. See you later. Look at Eric Swalwell. He was great. We thought he was an awesome senator. And then all that nonsense of him abusing women came out. We all said, no, we don't want you anymore. You got to go. There was no both sides. There was no, oh, but no, 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 no. There was a uniform across the board condemnation of his behavior, and we kicked him out. We said, see you later. We don't need you. And that's the difference between the right and the left. I'm proud to call myself a leftist. I'm proud to say I am a very progressive person. But that's because I want people of every class or background, everybody to be treated equally and everybody to be considered equal. You know, it's not it's not an if or and for me. That's what it is. Okay, real quick. Hello, Soul. Congrats to your Knicks if you celebrate the Knicks, you know. Hello, Anina. I hope your gluing turned out a little bit better. You know, and sometimes I got to get on that damn soapbox because if I don't, who else is going to speak up for me? So I have a platform and I will speak up as long as I have a voice. And I encourage you to do the same. You know, everybody's passionate about something, and you know, if you are passionate and you have a platform, speak up. You know, and don't be afraid to confront. It's okay, because that's how we get conversations started. But I, you know, for one, spent many years backing down, not pushing issues, and you just get to a point where you're just so sick and tired of it that you just got to say what's real. You got to say the truth, and you got to say, hey, it's this is an effed up situation. It really is. Why aren't we doing anything about it? You know. Um, so you know, that's what that's how I'm living these days. Because honestly, I don't have much to lose anymore. I don't have much. So for me, every day is a fight. Um, and it gets me up every day. You know, and I see people in my own community being hurt just by ignorant, racist people and policies, and it's just it sickens me to my core. So when you don't so when I can speak up, I will. I may not be a politician, I may not have a million plus followers, whatever, but I have a platform, and I think it's important to speak out and to be vocal about what's important and what's right, and to denounce what's wrong. You know, like that orange piece of crap that's in our that's occupying our White House and destroying it. That white trash thing he did on the 14th is disgusting. It's vile, honestly. Just it's one of those things that I never dreamed ever I would ever see. But you elect a clown, you're gonna get a flipping circus. And that's what we got is a flipping circus who is robbing us blind. So if you're still voting for Republicans, get your cabeza out of your culo and readjust your 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 way of voting for people because Republicans aren't your friends. They're not good for the economy. They never have been. I don't I don't think anybody here can name a Republican president in recent history that has done anything but destroy our economy. Back in 2007, I was riding high. I was doing great. I had a good job. I was making money. I could pay my rent. I could take vacations, all that, right? But what were they doing behind our backs? They were screwing around. And the Republican president at the time was part of that and didn't do anything to help it. Him and his party did nothing. So what did we do? We said, hey, F that. So we took our power back and we said, no, we want a progressive Democrat in the White House. And what did he do? He flipped this economy around. Who remembers those 8 years that beautiful Obama was in the White House? That was that was a magical time. Magical. And now what do we got? We are the embarrassment of the world because of that piece of crap that's sitting up there with his shitty diaper butt. Man. And then he has the nerve. He's got his supporters out there calling Michelle Obama a man. That's disgusting. Disgusting. That is just beyond the pale. And for Republicans not to speak out against that, that makes them even worse. Okay? Oh, when Clinton was in the White House, I was living in one of the best neighborhoods in Boston. Okay? Same. Republican presidents don't care about the people. They care about their wallet. They care about their legacy. They care about themselves and their friends. Oh, no more wars. No more wars. What are we doing now? We're in a flipping war. And who's benefiting from this war? His friends. Anybody in the war complex. So think about that. When you go when elections come up, don't sit down, don't sit back. Get your butt down to the polling station and place a vote. Vote. You can't complain unless you vote. Ooh, look at that. All right, this needs to finish drying. It's still wet. It's because we put a lot. Although my hot air might have just dried this on its own, so I think we're okay. Ah, yeah. Hi, Evelyn. Yeah, I hear you. I hear you. You know, but we're still a very young country. We have we have a long time to get back on the right track. What but we can't sit around and wait. We have to fight every single day, every single day. There's always a fight. You know, we got this. We can change the tide. We've done it before. We're going to do it again. Oregon, I don't know much about Oregon as far as their leanings, Anina. I'm not sure. I don't think they are, but I can't say for sure. So if somebody knows, please let us know. Yeah. Yeah, let's get a woman up there. Let's get a black woman up in the White House, taking no bull and getting things right. Getting things right. All right. Let's see. Me too. What does this need now? Are we ready to pull this? Uh, or Hispanic, yeah. But let me tell you, my experience with black women, they get it done and they will take everybody with them on that journey. They don't leave people behind. Okay. Karen, back me up on this. Zal, back me up on this. Don't, because they know what it's like. They know what it's like to be left behind. And it's not fun. And we don't wish that on anybody. All right. Get out the way. Get out the way. I got a mess. There's a mess over here. That's right. Make change from a penny. Here's what we're gonna do. We're gonna use some of that. That's my Taino, one of my Taino stamps. Actually, I'm gonna use my bird here. Do some marks in the back. Um, in high school, just school in general, um, I was always bullied. But you know who protected me? Do you know who always stood up for me and took care of me? Were my black friends. Always. So don't come at me with that hard G. I will get in a fight for that. Do a little dioxazine purple on this stamp here. Stamp a little bit of this out. Not just yet, Anne. I'm gonna do a little stamping first. Yep. And I like this because it hugs the curve of the leaf. So it should create cool design. Hopefully. Over here talking nonsense. I'm not happy with that. I'm not gonna stress though. I'm just gonna let it be. Gonna let it be. Although what I can do, use some of this purple. Make some lines on here. That's right, Rhonda. It's true. Because when Obama was elected, he didn't say, "Oh, I'm the Democrats' president," or "I'm Black people's president," or "I am whatever." No, he said, "I am your president, everybody's president," and he carried himself that way. There was no, "Oh, got to get rid of these brown people and ship more white people in from South Africa." No, none of that. There was no, "Oh, we got to keep the Muslims out." Excuse me? What? Really? No. All right. Let me give a second for that to dry, and then I'm gonna go ahead. I'll do a pull color on there. That dry. Yeah, Biden was the same way. Biden was everybody's president. He gave more money to red states when he was president than to any blue state. Okay. Hello, Ava Lee. I missed you there. You know. Um, so, all right. So for pull color, let me give this a second to dry. This other one might be ready to pull. I think we could do this one on on TV, on camera. Yep. That's right, Karen. Oh, look at that. Look, just that little strip is so happy. Happy, happy. Happy, happy. Okay. Since I started here, I'm going to start here. Oh, look at that. Okay, Avalie. Facts. Facts. Now, some of this. Okay. Oh, look at that. So I got some fun individual little works of art here. Easily turn these into tags, journal cards, create a collage, whatever. But this is just a different way to do it. Hello, Jen. Oh, look at this. This, for some reason, this one really stands out. Love that one. So this one we pulled with silver at Becky's very astute suggestion. Some of the silver kind of went over the side, so it's a little wet there, but otherwise, look at that. I love that. So I'll take some photos of these and post them later so that you could see better what they look like. And each one's got a little bit of everything. Fun. This would be also fun to do these in small pieces. If you're going to decorate a box, it's easier to decorate the box with these smaller pieces. I think it'd be fun, collage it. All right, so that's one. Okay. All right, so for this next one, I'm just going to put the paint down. I'm going to put the paper down, and then I'm going to say au revoir. Um, Yep. Okay, here we go. Uh-oh, Paula, get him. Paula is not one to be messed with. So, do you guys have any ideas for colors to pull this with? Do you want to work on that? I mean, I don't know. I was thinking keeping it pretty neutral again. Or do we go yellow? What do you guys think of yellow? Or wait. Not just yellow, but fern. Do you think fern maybe? All right, I'm putting that out there. Fern. I've got parchment or parchment. All right, so not fern. No fern. Okay, wait. Pink. Paula, you know I don't do pink. Girl, ta loca. But this pink would go, the green would go brown, wouldn't it? Do, 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 do. Hmm. Gonna give myself a second to set up here. I gotta move it once I get this paint down to get the paper down as well. So possibly, I don't have Naples yellow. That is one color I always forget to buy. Don't have a Naples yellow, unfortunately. I'm going to throw you a curveball. What do we think of that? Um, all right. I'm going to do the blue. I appreciate your feedback, but the more I look at it, I think it's going to be more exciting. Plus, we got gold here, and I wanted to show, so I don't want to pull it with gold. And I want to keep some of the integrity of the green. Yeah, Arctic is lighter, but I think this could use. I think this could handle a pop. Although we could do. There's nothing stopping us from doing a little bit of both, right? Oh, come on. And then that's it, because I'm getting hungry. That was the bottle. All right. This should be enough paint. All right. So remember this one, I'm gonna use the cut up pieces of the Yasutomo sketch paper, and then any areas that are left uncovered, I have these cut off strips of Carnival wet strength tissue paper. Okay. Did it. We did it. Decisions were made. And again, when you're using the Yasutomo sketch paper on your gel plate, put the smooth side down to the plate. That is the best way to go. And again, if you get a little gap, that's okay. Because sometimes when you get too close, the paper will rip. I know, Rhonda. I'm like, get it down, get it down. Almost there. The good thing, it's not like super dry here today. So, and it's not windy, which is nice. So that helps. So for this, I'm going to use a strip of the tissue for the end here. All right, and where's that? Get this down. Run my Baron over it, make sure everything's got good contact. So I will get this pulled as soon as it's dried and post pictures of it. If I remember, I'll film the pull. I'll post it. Now, in the description box to this video, there's a link to my Instagram page. I post a lot of videos over there, little like reels, shorts, and other content. So be sure you're subscribed over there on the Instagrams. I've been learning how to edit like on my phone instead of just like using the iMovie on my computer. I'm trying to be more hip, like with the like how the kids are doing it. All right. Let's see. Let's give her a flip and ooh, ooh. That's gonna be fun. And the more I think about it, this is not gonna be so bad because these will be broken up. It'll be broken up. So it's not like we're gonna get this huge leaf here. This will all be broken up, but oh, look at that. Now, I'm glad we went with the blue because I forgot we did that layer of the Azel Gold where I sprayed water on it. So we're gonna get a lot of that showing up. And the blue, the blue pushes it forward, makes it really cool. All right, my Boston accent just came out. Did you hear that? I said forward. I also say neither and either. Second. All right, guys. Thanks so much. Yeah, that was all we had on the plates, right? Yes. Um, yeah, so that was fun. Casual gel printing with a side of my political rantings and some fun papers here. And hopefully something different that you guys might want to try. Look at that. Those are fun. Thank you guys for joining me today. And if you're watching in the replay, thank you for watching. And I will, yeah, well, it's got to dry. And I can't do a 3 hour, I can't do a 3 hour stream because my I may pass out on screen because I gotta eat. So anyway, and I don't think you want to see me eat on camera. Not that kind of channel. So thank you guys for joining me today. I'll see you very soon. And hopefully before the end of the week, I can do another live stream and we could do, you know, some more fun stuff. And if you have any ideas for what you might want to see on the live streams or in a video, feel free to hit up my comment section on any of the videos and let me know. Thanks, guys. I'll talk to you later. Hugs.